I am delighted to be here to share this information on AI for Good, partnering with AI and voice bank industry to easily create on-device personal voice for people with ALS. I'm choosing to do this as a video because I did not want to lose time stopping and starting my many embedded videos and needing to rely on bothering the people from AV. I want to start by thanking every patient with ALS and their family, loved ones who've worked with us in clinic to explore the options I will describe. It has really been a rewarding partnership. So why focus on AI for good? Since voice cloning has become more and more of a thing, there has been significant concern for several years now regarding potential nefarious use of voice. And I think we've all heard of deepfake and the concern with deepfake in videos. Back in 2020, as you see here, I'd been part of a panel at the invitation of the Federal Trade Commission, as they were specifically focused on understanding how or whether they should regulate the use of AI and voice cloning. At that time, there was a discussion of nefarious uses and legal implications, and I was able to speak about and show how video of custom voice creation for people who are at risk or who have lost their ability to speak could be used. I was told there was a shift from considering complete regulation to recognizing the importance of allowing well-managed and controlled access to voice cloning. So why currently is personal AI voice not sufficient for fully functional communication using an augmentative communication device or software? AI voice used for in-the-moment communication currently on speech-generating devices requires strong and reliable cell service while communicating. The cloud processing that is done often has a time lag for those novel messages, although I believe that that seems to be getting better as time goes on. Here's an example. I'm creating this as an example of creating a brief novel message with strong Wi-Fi. It is pretty fast, but has a bit of a delay, but it was not a terrible delay there. There now is greater success using the efficiency features in communication tools with the AI voice. So, for example, one is able to, in many systems, use word prediction, phrase prediction, pre-stored phrases and sentences, use abbreviated expansion, and even have the AI voice maintained in the system for messages that have been spoken, even if you're offline. And this addresses the #1 complaint of AAC not being fast enough for real-time communication, especially with alternative access. In our long relationship with many developers of hardware and software, it's been great to see how integrating the AI voice has become a real goal. Here you see in our many back and forths with Speech Assistant, where we highlighted banked messages we're not speaking. They've just proposed creating some additional controls that will be rolled out in the next couple of days. So I began by experimenting in clinic with different AI voice products. I had first signed in for free accounts. I created voice with a couple of different AI companies, and the best quality voice that I had discerned came from 11 Labs. I then tried to manually use my AI voice to create the a cappella script, and that took about 2 hours. And I did that because if I don't have cloud service, I want to have the highest quality on-device voice possible, so hope to be able to create that on-device voice through a cappella. I chose a cappella first because they currently support as many as 25 languages, and I want to make sure that if we can scale this, it has broad application worldwide. They did create a voice out of those files that I had, but I wasn't particularly impressed with the outcomes. I thought the quality wasn't great, and I later learned that it was actually related to the AI product and the fact that what I could hear on the web, and when I downloaded it and used that as the raw material, it actually wasn't the best representation of what AI could do. And we later were able to work on a strategy where we could do it more directly without my having to do all that manual labor. And then I continued to track down leadership of AI companies, and I was able to speak with Maddie, who was one of the co-founders of 11 Labs, who reached out and asked for a meeting to understand exactly what it is I was asking So my ask was that we are able to work together to create a bridge between 11 Labs AI voice clone for cloud-based personal voice and Acapella, my own voice for on-device personal voice, or any other company for that matter. Also, I wanted to figure out a way to eliminate the noise in the electronic AI files that caused that poor quality outcome by having a more direct method to create the voice. And you see here, I was able to get the leadership and engineers of both companies together, introduce them, and have us talk about what could be done to provide the best options for as many people as possible. They all agreed that they wanted to work together. And I want to point out, they don't need to do this. 11 Labs is about to be valued at $3 billion. There's not a business need for them to be focusing on AI for good, but instead, every single person I've gotten to speak with and engage with has personally been invested in trying to figure out what they can do to help people who are in need. So here's an example of my custom AI voice. There's 30 seconds of me reading without any expression. That's what was used as the raw material. And what you're going to hear is a voice created by Acapella that kind of sounds like I'm a bit depressed. I then did it again with 30 seconds of reading with more intonation, and again created an a cappella voice, which certainly sounds much better as an option for an on-device voice. Testing this voice.
That was the AI voice. Here's the a cappella.
Testing this voice.
And now with more expression, the AI voice.
Testing this voice.
And the a cappella.
Testing this voice.
Here, Donna is in my office. Her daughters had airdropped to me voicemails sitting in the clinic. I used those to create a voice, an AI voice, and then we tested it out by having it speak something that Donna had said several times during our session. And we're now using that not only to create an on-device voice, but we're able to download those recordings and they can be incorporated into her communication app.
I dragged in your voicemail messages.
Hi, honey. Can you let me know if you... Hi, honey. Can you let me know if you guys are coming for Easter weekend? Hi, honey. Just wanted to wish you and Mike a happy anniversary.
And now I'm going to tell it to generate a message that you've said like 3 times today.
I am going to go shopping to buy stocking stuffers.
What did you think? Oh my God. Amazing.
This voice sounds, from what you're telling me, more like your pre-ALS voice. So I'm now going to create the entire a cappella recording, all 50 of them, using this voice. And will live on the device. So everything you type, even if you're not connected to the cloud, will speak out in that voice.
And here's that automatic process we've
Her
created.
friend shrugged, cuts out the middleman. Either method is effective. The images are real.
This process takes 90 seconds. So we were able to create an AI voice for Mark, and you'll hear his AI voice, his the original voicemail it was created from, the a cappella my own voice that was created from the AI, as well as the original a cappella recordings done about a year ago.
Hey, Sherry, give me a call when you have a chance. Thanks. Bye.
So that's the voicemail. Here is the AI voice created from that.
Hey, Sherry, give me a call when you have a chance. Thanks. Bye.
Here is the a cappella my own voice created from the AI voice.
Hey, Sherry, give me a call when you have a chance. Thanks. Bye.
Integrated the AI voice into a text-to-speech app here.
I hope you sleep well.
Pre-stored.
How are you this morning?
Pre-stored.
Now, would you clear and go to the keyboard and create a message? I did not pay you to say that.
John, you were doing a hell of a job.
Very little delay there. And then in airplane mode, it defaults back to the on-device voice.
Okay, so now that you're in airplane mode,
How are you?
it's defaulted back to the on-device voice.
Here, Dawn is someone who actually had message banked. So you're first going to hear her banked message talking about getting an ice cream. She had also completed the standard 50 recordings to create an a cappella voice. You're going to hear that second. You are then going to hear an 11 Labs AI voice that we created using only 30 seconds of her banked messages. And then finally, you're going to hear the a cappella voice that was created using those 30 seconds. And by the way, the 11 Labs AI voice that we created sounded like her, but clearer. So it gave us better raw material for creating that a cappella voice again.
An ice cream sundae sounds pretty good right about now.
Actual recording.
An ice cream sundae sounds pretty good right about now.
Standard a cappella.
An ice cream sundae sounds pretty good right about now.
AI.
An ice cream sundae sounds pretty good right about now.
And her new on-device voice. This also can be done in other languages. Here's an example in French. This is a voicemail.
Alex, c'est moi, mon grand. Ben écoute,
Here is the AI voice that was created.
un maire du Pays Basque interdit sa commune aux promeneurs.
And here's the a cappella voice that was created from that AI voice.
J'ai besoin d'aide pour trouver mon livre de mathématiques.
Now created AI voice in multiple languages. Here are just a couple of samples.
Ciao, mi chiamo Marco.
喜悦，今天真是美好的一。
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
But the challenge to on-device voice banking companies is now to develop methods to support more languages. In clinic, we had worked with a gentleman who was dysarthric, and you're going to hear him reading the Rainbow Passage. I used 30 seconds of that to create his AI voice that sounds much clearer. A couple of weeks later, his family actually sent me legacy audio they had from a wedding toast that we used, and you'll hear that as well as and the AI voice created from it.
Strike raindrop in the air.
I'll fast forward for...
The sunlight strikes raindrops in the air. They act like a prison.
So clearly, sounds like him, but is more intelligible. Here is the audio from the wedding.
I want to thank everyone here for helping us celebrate this magical day.
And here is the AI voice created from 30 seconds of that wedding audio.
This is the voice just created from the wedding video.
Here you see Kathy. We first used voicemail messages to create an AI voice. She gave us some sentences she wanted to create with her AI voice, and you'll see here the messages that she wanted to use for making phone calls. And then we're able to download the custom messages that she wanted created from her AI voice into her communication app, and at the same time now use the AI voice to create an on-device voice.
The
voicemail.
The two facing parking areas that are right at the...
Kathy, don't hang up. I have a condition and I use technology to talk.
AI voice.
Yeah. No. Honey, I'm right again.
Her husband's idea of something she says all the time.
Honey, I'm right again.
It's like you never left.
And now it's embedded.
Honey, I'm right again.
Here you'll see someone who, when we met her, was severely dysarthric. The only legacy audio they had was her delivering a reading at her daughter's wedding. We were able to extract the audio, clean out the echo from the church, and then use that cleaned out audio to create a voice. The whole process took about 5 minutes.
A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Philippians.
And we cleaned it.
A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Philippians.
And then dragged it in.
This is what we created. It only required 30 seconds.
In the office, this gentleman is demonstrating kind of what we do typically, having people read the Rainbow Passage, and I'm just recording it with a Zoom recorder, which is a pretty high-quality recorder.
Rainbow is a division of white.
And now we've created it.
Now say it, honey.
I'm super excited to hear my AI-generated voice.
No, play it, John.
I am super excited to hear my AI-generated voice.
Holy.
Had to cut that off. So where do we go from here? 11 Labs and a cappella relationship was finalized earlier this week. Acapella is going to launch a portal on their site along with the Double Dip Personal Voice portal, the Apple Voice portal. We're creating manuals and video tutorials of the process along with all of the Acapella language scripts so that they can be readily available. We will launch trainings for clinics and providers, so this may be scaled broadly in as many languages and as many regions of the world as possible. I want to make it clear that this really is a process that can be done pretty easily in clinic. We are collecting the audio, creating the AI voice. We're uploading the My Own Voice script for on-device voice. We're then implementing the AI voice into people's speech-generating device or apps as appropriate, all in the same clinic appointment. And so our goal really is to make sure this is something that can be done readily in any clinic. And this is just a shameless plug at the end here for the AI survey that many of you have seen the flyers for on your table. Not related to AI and voice, but related to AI and language. Thank you.
I think it's working now. Oh, there we go. John, can I just say, you talk about connection. I've been listening to John for 15 years, and it took me probably 10 to be able to talk to him. And now I feel I can say hi. So, don't be me. Go say hi. That is just astonishing compared to where we started with voice banking. I'm in OT, but all the speechies that I work with, I remember 10 years ago it was 1,800 phrases, quiet room, special microphone. Just people weren't able to do that. Now this is just amazing. So we're going to take 5 minutes to ask some questions. We've got a few people running around with microphones. Put your hands up. Oh, I can actually see. That's exciting. So who we got first? Sarah, are you asking a question? I just want to say there's also the chat reader going in the virtual platform, so there will be questions from the virtual audience if needed as well.
Yeah. John, I have a very, very basic question so that if we are talking to people about this and want to describe it, what did the old one use? If it didn't use AI, how did it generate the people's voices?
So it's a really good question. AI has changed and morphed over the years. Indeed, when we went from having 3,000 sentences people needed to record to only having 50 to 150, that efficiency was based upon a form of AI, using deep neural network, using other strategies. This is just taking advantage of the newest options through artificial intelligence.
Hi, I've got some comments from the chat. So Orlando Ruiz from Acela said his voiceover of his video yesterday was his clone voice using 11 labs from 40-year-old recordings, which is amazing. And a lot of comments about how great the technology is. And then a couple of questions about availability globally. Is it available outside of the US?
Yes. So, and the availability, because there were two different processes I was describing here. I was describing using 11 Labs for creating an AI voice. And indeed, 11 Labs has stepped up in a very robust way to want to provide as many as 1 million voices to people in need. In our clinic, everyone in our clinic, when we see them, we create the voice on the spot. Obviously, everyone is not able to come to our clinic. In the United States, 11 Labs has partnered with Bridging Voice, where they will send out the code, and hopefully our clinical process that we're going to put together and be able to document is going to support people who may not have a clinician in their backyard helping them. On the international level, the Scott Morgan Foundation is providing those 11 labs codes for anybody who applies through them. And so that also can be used. Then when we switch to creating the on-device voice, because remember, for many, many people, having cellular service is not a readily available option. So when we look at that, right now, as I highlighted, I've been partnering with Acapella because of the broad number of languages that they have. So if someone internationally speaks a language that Acapella supports, there are a couple of different options. Again, in our clinic, we provide all of those codes for Acapella. In the United States, Team Gleason has been an extraordinary resource on so many levels to people with ALS, and they have provided that code. Across the world, I know the MND Association has been providing those codes, and if you go into the Acapella site, there is a spot where there's a drop-down where you can select a funding source based upon where you are in the world.
I certainly know in Australia that the speech pathologists have availability to this. They've been having Zoom meetings with like Richard and Acapella and my own voice. Like, it's been phenomenal already. And, you know, we are in the bottom of the world, so we seem to have managed to keep up with that. Any other questions? I can't see again, so put your hand up and wave. Oh,
while we're waiting for a question, I will also just comment that process of being able to create the voice, the AI voice, and then immediately create the entire script used for Acapella takes less than 90 seconds. And between that 30 seconds of recording, creating the AI voice, which takes about 2 minutes, and then 90 seconds to create the entire script, it is a process that I truly believe can be part of support for everyone with ALS-MND in clinics around the world.
The wedding speech seems to be a really good thing that people have available in terms of recorded voice. I know a few people in Australia have used wedding speeches to create this. Oh, up the back. Norm.
I contacted Acapella to make my voice based on a recording, but they weren't able to do the Quebecois accent.
I heard the first part of that. You had contacted Acapella to create your voice, and I missed the second part. I apologize.
So he said that he contacted Acapella to have a voice created from a recording, but they were unable to do the Quebecois accent.
They were unable to do it because?
Because of the accent that we have here in Quebec.
Interesting. Golly, if they can do Australian, they should be able to do Quebec.
I would like to sit down with you in the hallway a bit later. And I do not believe, it may not sound perfect. You heard my on-device voice was not perfect, but I feel confident based upon what we continuously do in clinic 12 times a week now in new evaluations with people with ALS that we can create something.
We've probably got time for one more quick question, which I can see a hand up over there.
Hi, so I'm an SLP in Canada here. And you're speaking about the codes that are available in the US and some internationally. I just did a very quick search, and I know that the MND Association does look like they provide codes for UK and Ireland and whatnot. What about Canada? Do you know if there's any availability to access these codes for Canadians?
Yeah, and I believe that is where going through the Scott Morgan Foundation will support you. Sure.
Oh, very quick. I'm on time.
Just wondering if you have any experience working with singers and using this voice.
That's a phenomenal question. I can say without... There's a lot in process. There's a lot of hope. I've been very fortunate over the years to work with several award-winning Broadway people and other performers where up until this point it's been very difficult, but I know that there continues to be a focus. It is a goal of several sources.
Amazing. Well, we'll have to wrap that up. Thank you, John. See, I can be his friend now.